Hey, peace and blessings, and good morning. I'm going to continue on what I usually make my content about, spiritual warfare. Um, I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather if it sounds a little grainy or anything like that. I'm a little under the weather. I have a cold, pause. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I just want to talk about, sacrifice, and what you have to do and what you go through, as a lover of God, as a daily, bearer of this cross, for God, um, sacrifice. Um, Me personally, I've sacrificed my social life, um, attachments, family, associates, friends, work associates, um, every sort of attachment of a social level you can think of. I've sacrificed it. I've thrown it in the furnace, incinerated it, and it is no more. I mean, there's only room in my life for Yahweh, God, for the teachings of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and lovers of them. It's sacrifice. I bear my cross daily. I take it serious. I understand that these are the end times. Your old life, your old way of thinking, your old, you know, understandings of religion and how things go should be dead. Um, a lot of, people under demonic, strongholds and, really full demon possession, actually, you know, you always witchcrafting me and saying dying, trying to witchcraft me, be under the fear of, to be under fear. I don't fear nothing but God. But there's just to give a brief example of some of the the tactics they use. Subliminally, throwing some dying. I did die, you know, in 2020, when I was activated for the Kingdom of Light. I did die. The old me, because he wouldn't cut it. In this war for God. This is a war. It's a spiritual warfare. He wouldn't cut it. He was weak. He was beta of a mindset. Um, he was too attached, to people and things that he knew that wasn't for him. He wouldn't cut it. And the person I am now, that God blessed me to be, that God transformed me to be, the light of this world. My moniker, on YouTube's TD Bakes, but I'm chosen. I'm light of this world. I'm a warrior for God. I thank Yah daily. Probably not as much as I should, but I thank Yah daily as much as I can, much as I can recollect every day. I thank Him as much as I can. I understand the sacrifices that it takes to gain access to heaven. I understand, as chosen ones, as lovers of God, we have to set the breadcrumbs, for people to follow suit. Because this whole world is demonic. This whole world is dark. This whole world is under Freemasonry control, which is demonic programming. Freemasons are satanic in origin. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Freemasons are a satanic cult. In the Bible, it's pretty clear. Cults are demonic. Freemasons control everything. Shaquille O'Neal's in a Freemason. He's in a cult. LeBron James. Get it, the moniker King James. I mean, everything is under Freemason control. They even shown it, very prevalently in movies and in TVs and, your social media and your music and your clothing. It's everywhere. This demonic program that we're under, the spell of witchcraft. And people are so scared, they're so under the spirit of fear that they fear heaven more than they fear hell. It is ridiculous. It is so ludicrous. People fear heaven more than hell. That's how much of under the spirit of fear the devil has these people under, these demonic vessels, these people under demonic strongholds, these reprobated minded people. They couldn't comprehend the sacrifice it takes to love God truly, to truly be connected to God and fight your sin daily. They couldn't comprehend it. It is a sacrifice. Jesus sacrificed his life so we could gain access to heaven. So who am I to not sacrifice, a few attachments, a few, luxury, materialistic things, to gain access to heaven myself? Who would I be? That would be hypocrisy in itself. Jesus was whipped. A crown of thorns was placed on his head. He was nailed to a cross. He was spit on, he was slandered, he was cursed, he was mocked. And he did it willingly. He accepted it. And he died for us, mankind. He bore his cross. He died, his physical body. Took the keys back, took the keys of life and death back from Satan. And here we are. So who am I? Who are you? Who are anyone who truly loves God to deny yourself and bearing that cross? If Jesus himself, died on the cross for you. People don't want to give up, material things. They don't want to, people love the world. God says, do not love the world. Everything in this world is demonic, under Satan's control, under Satan's spell, under Satan's grasp. So if you love the world, you love Satan. I've watched more people fall in love with hell than heaven. That I used to be connected to, that I used to be associated with, that I used to, care about, in a sense. But I had to kill off that version of myself because it was a hindrance to me spiritually. And anything of a hindrance to you spiritually, you have to cut it off. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, cut off your right eye if it is a hindrance to you. And just to paraphrase, I'll leave that scripture below in the description. The Sermon on the Mount. People won't understand it. As a chosen one, as a lover of God, when you remove them from your life, when you see them for the energy vampires they are, for the demonic vessels they are, for the NPCs that they are, they'll take it personal. But they view you as something, to be used, not to be loved, not to be understood, not as a human. Because they're biologically hacked by demons from sin, through generational curses, through developing, narcissistic personality disorder, from many variables. They're biologically, demonically hacked. Added to that, the Freemasons, who control this world, are demonically pumping, pushing, and developing everything in their power to make this world so demonic that it is normal to have horns. It is a normal thing. Literally. And you'll see it. It's sacrifice. I take the spiritual warfare serious. I told my old associates, I don't call them family anymore. I just call them associates. I told them a few months ago, I said, I understand that I'm chosen. I'm getting ready to do what I was born to do. So the time of you being, monitoring spirits, or you hindering me spiritually, or, me even being in contact with you, physically, in person, is done. You serve no use for me. I've cut, old, relationships off, way before this, before I even did my family, because I understood it was a spiritual hindrance. These women of modern age serve no purpose to me. I will never link myself with a modern age woman. Never in life. Never in life again. It is a waste of time. They serve no purpose. Not for me. I do not have demons. I am not demon possessed. What purpose would they serve for me? I love Jesus, Yeshua. I love God, Yahweh. What purpose would a woman, with a legion of demons serve to me? What purpose would a family or associates with a legion of demons in their vessel serve to me? It is sacrifice, but it is also business. It's the business of souls. People are very childish, in their mindset. They don't understand, things are, excuse me, I'm sorry. Things are very cut and dry with God. It is simple. Yes, we are born of sin. Literally, Adam and Eve, the first sinners. We were born of sin. We were born fleshly, But you have to battle your sin daily. People gave up on God. People lost hope in God. People lost respect for God. People must have thought the end times was going to, never come. And lo and behold, 2020 came and them demons done jumped in you. And now you hate God. Now you're Antichrist in the spirit. These demonic vessels, these NPCs, these Agent Smiths, these narcissistic people in your life, you have to cut them off. They cannot go where you are going. Everybody cannot go where you are going. I know for a fact that I'm going to heaven. I know for a fact that I will bring others with me. That is my destiny. That is my purpose. And I also know for a fact that people I used to associate with will try and stop at nothing to distract me from that. And they used to. So I had to sacrifice my association with them. My own mother has demons. My own little sister has demons. My little brother has demons. My grandmother, they have, demons that they deal with. Whether they're under full demon possession or not, I'm not aware, because I have, I cannot, one by one, monitor the spirits, in that way no more, because I can't have association with them. It's just what it is. God says, isolate yourself, and I have to listen to my spiritual father. I don't think I'll ever see my family in person ever again. Sacrifice. I don't think I'll ever see old relationships, exes or, friends or, associates, work associates, people you shot ever again in person, unless we bump into each other at a store. I will never see them in person again. That is sacrifice. That is how much I love God. That is the example I want to set for my wife, who's coming soon, through the blessings of Yah. I have to shake the spiritual warfare off completely in the wilderness stage. To get to that, I want to make sure my wife understands how serious that I take this spiritual warfare, and how serious I take the love of my spiritual father, Yahweh, God. How serious I take it. And my future children as well. Enough to sacrifice everything that I used to in my old life, cherished in some ways. I cherished relationships. Now they're an unimportance to me. They're of inconsequence. I'd rather just be by myself. Because I've sacrificed my old self for God. Sacrifice. In the Bible, it teaches you the ultimate sacrifice. You have the example of the ultimate sacrifice from Yeshua, Jesus Christ, for you to gain access to heaven. Excuse me. Not for you to run around in this physical realm and sin, collect your vessel with 1,000 demons just to be miserable, and then blame God and blame other people and blame everything else but yourself. I've watched it happen 1,000,000 times. Different people, different ages, different circumstances. They collect a bunch of demons. They become miserable after a while because it takes a toll. Them demons, it takes a toll. Then they become Antichrist in spirit, and they blame God. They hate God. That's when you hate God. And now they hate me because I'm chosen. I'm the light of this world. I'm a physical manifestation of the Holy Spirit. So people are going to hate me a lot. There's nothing I could do about it. I've got used to it after, these few years. I've gotten very used to it as a lover of God, As the end times, draw near, closer to the end, to the rapture, where Jesus descends, the trumpet sound, and we ascend, people hate you very, very much. You'll see it, as much as I do. I just have to give the discernment so I see it. I just overstand it. It's sacrifice. To bear this cross, to call yourself a Christian, to say you are a lover of God, to say you were chosen, to say you were light of this world, they're only titles unless you actually sacrifice things, of a sinful, of a hindrance to God, of a hindrance to you spirit. It's only of a title itself. Unless you do the things that it takes to serve God. Sacrifice. And cloak yourself, the armor of God. Boast of your prayer regimen. Become a prayer warrior is of high importance. Of high importance. Prayer is one of the strongest weapons you have against the devil. It is your closest connection with God, is you talking directly to Yahweh. Cloak yourself the armor of God as well. Bear your cross daily. Sacrifice for God now, and you will cry tears of joy in heaven later on. A lot of people say, Christianity is you're being subservient to God. You're being no. You love God. I love God. I'm happy every day since I got closer to God. I'm happy every day. I'm only unhappy when I'm around people who don't love God. That's how I know I'm very, very much in a good standing with Yahweh. It was never like that before. I was always happy to be in folly. It made me happier sometimes even. I was always introverted. I was always happy to be, by myself. But I got happy being around, BS, the BS in the hood, and, the girls and the blunts and weed and the bottles, the Fips, Casamigo, whatever, whatever it may have used to be. Now I feel out of place. It feels weird. It doesn't feel natural anymore. That's how I understood. I was at a point where I sacrificed and I killed off my former self. I was reborn with God. I've yet to be baptized, so I still sin a little bit. I swear occasionally. I lie. I ain't even gonna lie. I swear a lot. Smoke cigarettes. I still lust after women a little bit. I don't chase them. I don't have sex with them. I don't lay with them. I don't even wish to. To be honest. But of course, I still like women. I'm a young male. But I cherish the day I'm gonna be baptized. I feel like that'll be the greatest day of my life, other than, the day I meet my wife and marry her and have a kid. The 3 greatest days of my life: me baptized, for God; me, marrying a wife, so we both can glorify God, and me having a child, so that child can grow up, for a few years we have left and glorify God as well. It's sacrifice. I understand it very much so. I'm a warrior for God. The fire of Christ burns bright in my soul. I'm a warrior for God. God makes me happy more than anything else I ever had in my life. I had material things. I had women. I had sex. I had, drugs, alcohol, clothes, whatever it may be, hats, shoes, whatever. Nothing makes me happy more than having God in my life, ever in my existence. And peace and blessings.